Hey guys, Albe here. First official episode of the 2002 YZ426f. This morning I took the bike where I usually take the F800GS. I did some trails that I never attempted with the F800GS because I didn't know if the bike could do it, and fortunately I didn't do it because this bike could barely make it. And I figured out a few things right off the bat, and one is an uphill. It's steeper than it looks like from the bottom. Unfortunately, I had this thing and never tried it with the F800 because I probably wouldn't have made it. But anyway, when I came back, I gave the bike a good scrub, and the bike is looking actually pretty good. But now it's time to do a few things that I want to do right away. So without further ado, let's get on it. Among the things I want to do, the very first thing I must do is get rid of those freaking skeleton heads. Up front, we have one in the back. 1 and 2 gotta go. Time to replace them with just regular. One on the front, one in the back, moving on. Another quick and cheap thing I want to do is the bike is missing the plugs for this side and the other side, and I went on Bike Bandit, which by the way there is a link in the description, and I bought 2 replacement plugs. Those plugs were cheap, were like $2 each. So I don't understand why people, they just don't buy them and replace them. It requires no mechanical skills. So, but let's put it on. Here we go. This prevents grime, dirt, water to get in there and get jammed in there. So I'm gonna go to the other side and put this one as well. Another thing that I really want to do is lower the fork down just a little bit, just a 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch, and that's not that difficult. We're gonna lose these 2 bolts, lose these 2 bolts up there and slide the fork down, no problem. This is the line that I want to actually push down and use as a reference to make sure both forks are level properly. At this point, I'm going to tie those back up. Just a little tie so that it doesn't move. And it's now time to pull out my torque wrench and actually torque them up properly. But since I'm in this general area, there is this thing over here that is gonna go. So the bottom is 14 foot-pound, while the top is 17 foot-pound. I also went ahead and removed the rest of the Scott's stickers from the bike, so the only thing Scott's left is the actual engraving on the triple clamp. So since we are up here, I'm gonna remove this valve over here and I'm gonna replace it with a Motion Pro micro bleeder. So now at the end of the day, instead of having to grab a screwdriver and unscrew it, I can just go in and push on the micro bleeder and makes everything much easier. And those were as well fairly cheap, I believe $15 or something like that. But moving on. Last thing I want to do today is take care of this broken reservoir over here. This is pitiful, and I kind of like my rear brake, especially when I'm popping wheelies and when I'm coming down steep inclines. So I'm gonna replace it with a fresh one. Same thing, I bought this one off Bike Bandit, and it was 20 bucks, so no excuse for not replacing it. This operation is gonna take a little bit more than the rest of the stuff I did today. And not much, but still a little. We gotta remove the protection over here, which is just 2 screws, and those are let's see, 4 millimeter Allen keys. Number 2 out. Now I'm gonna put one back in because I want to keep the master cylinder in place. So what I'm gonna do is pinch this one over here, because I don't really want to replace or bleed the system altogether. So I'm gonna pinch it. I'm gonna open up the reservoir. Okay. The diaphragm in there is not too bad, but since it was only a few bucks, I got a new diaphragm as well, because 16 years old, why not? Don't skimp on brakes. It really pays in the long run, no? The system probably could do with a full fluid flush, but that's for another time. Right now I just want to get rid of the reservoir. Here we go. And now it's time to replace it with a brand new one. Nice and shiny, and with a proper upper or lower. Stick it all the way up. Get the hose clamp in position. Time to put the reservoir back where it belongs. Fresh oil. I'm gonna put the level between min and max, because I'm not sure. The brake pads look brand new, but I'm not sure how new they are, so I'm gonna just leave it between the lower and the upper mark. When I replace the brake pads in the back, I'm actually gonna do a full flush and bring it up to the proper level. In the meantime, as the pads wear out, I'm gonna keep an eye so that the fluid never goes below the lower mark. Let's put in the new diaphragm. In it goes. Don't tie these to death. Tie it until it's firm, but do not exceed, because otherwise you're going to squish the rubber on the inside. Let me tie these up. There you go. I'm gonna give it a few pump so that if there is any air in there, it's going to come back up. Perfect. Brand new reservoir, much safer. Okay, let's put the cover back on. and we're done for the day. Now I'm noticing that this thing is pushing against the reservoir, so what I'm gonna do is actually grab it and pull it away from it. So now you have some play and it's not pushing against the reservoir, so it's not going to break it again. Looking great. We are done for today. We are far from having done everything that needs to be done to the bike, but that's for another episode. Stay tuned, because as the parts are coming in, I'm gonna keep going through, and eventually we're gonna do obviously an oil and filter change. We're gonna change the air filter. We're going to take care of the sprocket and the chain in the back, and the carburetor, and a lot of other things that, to be sincere, should have been done as the bike progressed through the years, because they are so cheap to actually do. I believe the most expensive thing I bought was the jet kit for the carburetor, which was $40 or $45. But if you start letting it go, eventually it's gonna catch up with you, and you're gonna end up spending a couple of $100s to bring the bike back into the shape it's supposed to be. Now, as always, for anything I used in this video, check the description below. There's gonna be links for pretty much everything I used. If you like the video, like. If you love the video, subscribe. Till then, dirt on, and I'll see you next time.